Hello fellow RTS fans, Twiglets2 here, back with another Rise of Nations video. Today I'm going to show you the many cheats you can use in this incredible game. I've searched high and low, all over the internet, to bring you the best Rise of Nations cheats, all in one convenient video. Most of these cheats will just be about having some fun, but there are a few that have some practical uses to help you improve at the game. I'll highlight which cheats these are, and how you can use them to help you improve towards the end of the video. But for now, I'll start by showing you how to enter cheats in the first place, as they can be a bit fiddly to get right at first. Then I've got a bunch of cheats to run through, with some live examples to demonstrate exactly how they work and what they do. Finally, as I mentioned, we'll finish on how some of these cheats can be used to help you improve at the game, as well as some random bullshittery to do with nukes. If you find this video useful, please consider subscribing for more old school RTS content. And check out my other Rise of Nations videos too. I think it goes without saying that you obviously won't be using these cheats in a competitive match. This is just for some fun against the AI or perhaps with friends. So with that caveat out the way, let me explain exactly how to enter cheats. If you press enter when you're in the game, it will bring up the chat box. Type the cheat in there, then press enter again. And it's as easy as that. If the cheat doesn't appear to have worked, then double check you're entering each letter correctly, including the spaces. You have to be exact for these cheats to work, because computers are stupid. Which is better than them being too smart and taking over the world, I guess, but let's not go there. So now we know how to enter cheats, let's take a look at the list of cheats I've put together for you. The first one is pretty obvious. Let's add as many resources as we like to make ourselves rich. We do this by entering cheat, resource, all, plus, let's go with 10,000. You don't need all the capitals on, by the way. You can see in the top left, we've got an extra 10,000 each resource.
You okay over there?
You could also do the same to minus the resource if you really wanted to. By just putting a minus. Let's try minus 500. You can see there it's taken off 500. You'll notice it's only food, wood and wealth at the moment. That's because we're in the ancient age. There you can see. So let's use another cheat to get us to age up. So for this one, we enter cheat, age, and let's go with 3. There, we're in the gunpowder age. And now it's opened up more resources, so let's try our resources cheat again. Resource all plus, go another 10,000, why not? So we've included metal and knowledge now. It's worth bearing in mind as well, in terms of the ages, the ancient age, although we would call that the first age, in terms of the cheats, the ancient age is actually 0. It starts at 0. And then if we go age 1, that takes us up to classical age, which we would probably call age 2. So once you get your head around that, it's nice and easy. Just remember it starts with the cheats as 0. We could also change our individual library technologies, military, civic, commerce and science. So let's give that a go. Cheat, military, and let's go with, I don't know, 3. And it's gone straight up to 3. We'll try one more. Cheat, science, which I can't spell. I really can't spell. There we go. Cheat, science, 3. And we've taken that up. So you can see how that works. It's the same for civic and it's the same for commerce as well. If you want everything to go up to the same levels, so the same age and the same library tech levels, that's okay too. We've got you covered there. Cheat, library, and let's go with 3. There you go. So it's aligned the age, it's aligned all of the technologies. Everything is nice and simple and the same. Now, actually, what I think is one of the most useful cheats is this one here. Sandbox. Look at the minimap in the bottom and see what this does when I press enter. Boom. It gets rid of all of the shroud, no fog of war whatsoever. And it also, of course, reveals where your opponent is. Not only that, though, it lets you control your opponent. There you go. That's the AI. And they are now under my control. And of course, I can still control my guys and girls. So this really opens up a whole new realm of possibilities. Let's finish off the list of cheats though, and then we'll come back to how useful Sandbox can be, because it really is one of the best ones. But one of the most fun is to add units. So the key is to know the actual name of the unit you want to add. Usually it's just a case of including the first word of their name. For example, Tiger for Tiger Tanks. But sometimes there are multiple units with the same first name, such as the Eagle Fighter and the Eagle Balamob Slingers. Typing Eagle will give you the Balamob Slingers. So how do you get the Eagle Fighter? You actually have to type in Eagle Fighter as one word, so no space between Eagle and Fighter. And that, you get the idea. That will give you the Eagle Fighter there. So if we do cheat add Tiger, there we go, we have one Tiger tank. And you can see that they appear where your cursor is. If you can add more than one if you want. You can add quite a lot more. You can add 20 Tigers. There you go, they all appeared around the cursor. And they are here now for mutual command. The best part probably is that you can go over your population limit with these cheats. So that can lead to some truly ridiculous fun. You can also add buildings, pretty straightforward. Let's add a barracks. Again, it will go where your cursor is. It's actually quite fun. I don't have any C here, but that doesn't stop me adding a dock. Oh, wrong way around. There you go, we got a dock on land, why not? Great fun. And then if you age up or down, you'll notice that the buildings change with the age that you're moving to. So there we go, we just went up and they all changed. So they do eventually change. So now that you have all of these units, let's say you do something ridiculous. I don't know. Infantry. There you go. All right, so we've got a whole bunch of infantry there. You can get rid of them. Now you could do that by pressing delete or holding down delete, but you'll see that that takes absolutely ages. It does each one individually. So what you can do instead, a quicker way, is to highlight all of the ones you want to get rid of, and then you do enter, cheat, and die, and they'll all just go. I think that if you get into really big numbers, it will only get rid of a chunk of what you have selected, but it's definitely quicker than clicking delete. Or of course, a more fun way is to just nuke them all, and we're going to do that now. So let's hopefully not overload the system. Let's add 200 main battle tanks, and I'm genuinely not sure what's going to happen here. Okay. 200 main battle tanks, fair enough. And let's say that's far too many, don't like it. Let's do that. Boom. Got a nuke. Now again, this is about where your cursor is pointing. So you can do a nuke over here. And you can do a nuke over there. And just set off your own fireworks display. Last but not least, finally, we have possibly the most powerful cheat of them all. Adding a random bird. I may have exaggerated slightly how powerful this is, but if you had an hour to spare, you could create an unstoppable army of birds. This isn't an exhaustive list of cheats. There are others I could have included, but to me these are the most fun and also the most useful. If you're desperate to know more cheats, then a quick Google will bring up a few lists, including the ones I've just shown you, and a few others that I thought were less interesting. Spamming a bunch of main battle tanks and dropping a nuke on them is fun. But how can some of these cheats be used to help you improve? Learning to weigh up your opposition's army is a key aspect of any RTS. To help you decide whether you want to take this fight, or tactfully retreat until reinforcements arrive. The sandbox cheat allows you to create a scenario where units of your choosing fight each other, with both sides controlled by you, which is a very powerful learning tool. Let's say you created 4 or 5 heavy infantry at the beginning of a game to rush your opponent. But when your heavies are halfway toward the enemy city, your scout reveals your opponent is waiting with 2 archer units. Now, as a new or returning player, you may already know that archers are the hard counter for heavy infantry. But there's only 2 archers to your 5 heavies. So do you just call off the attack to stop your guys getting decimated, or do you go for it? Perhaps your superior numbers will overcome the fact that archers will hard counter your heavies. Until you get stuck in, you won't know for sure. By creating these scenarios yourself, by using the cheats, you can practice them over and over again, slightly changing your approach to the scenario each time, to learn how best to approach each particular battle. Of course, there is no substitute for playing a real match against a real opponent, but using this technique, you will take away the randomness of a multiplayer game, where you don't know what you're going to face. The sandbox method can lead to a much more efficient learning process, where you can try something, see if it works, and if it doesn't, run the scenario again, with a different approach to help you learn from each experience. By having the ability to create whichever scenario you like, with whichever armies you like, you'll speed up the learning process to help you weigh up your odds of winning each fight, without the pressure of being in a live game. Before we move on to the big finale, here's a summary of everything we've covered today. Rise of Nations has a lot of really fun cheats. We got our heads around how to actually enter them by using enter to bring up the chat bar and typing them in. Once comfortable with that, we discovered a whole bunch of entertaining cheats, including a useless one that adds a swarm of birds onto the map. More than just for fun though, we went through how these cheats can be used to help improve your gameplay, other than actually using the cheats to win. I hope you found today's video useful. If you're a fan of RTS games, then please consider subscribing for more content dedicated to Rise of Nations and RTS in general. As today's video is all about having fun, we're going to have some fun with the outro, by nuking the shit out of everything, to one of the best soundtracks ever made. Enjoy.